Hey everybody! Welcome back to another Stoptech adventure. This weekend, Tommy and I, along with a couple of friends, went to Buttonwillow Raceway. It was super hot, triple-digit heat. We started super early. We went with BSF, and it started out at 7. I think the track was hot at 7.
Yeah, the track was hot at 7, and by lunchtime we finished 4 sessions early.
Yeah.
And right after lunch, it was like a 20-minute lunch. And then they started the open track session from like 1 to 3, and we wrapped up at like 3 o'clock. So it was like super quick.
So let me show you guys my PB lap of the day. It is by far not the most fast I've been on Buttonwillow, but obviously given it is the MRS, somewhat new car, also super hot track day, I was able to turn a 218. So I also had a friend that sat in my car, and he's quicker than I am, and he mentioned that some of my lines were pretty narrow and pretty tight. Specifically the sweeper right before the S's, I tend to enter pretty close to the right hand side, and then I aim straight, and then I kind of try to maneuver the car in a way and turn right to kind of get through that like turn. But he was saying how I should actually enter from the left and then kind of go in, hit the apex, like basically where the dirt is, hit it like at the corner, and then head straight in there, and then head as far out at the corner as you can to turn the car around, coming out of that turn. I've always had this challenge getting further out to that like corner because it's just super, it's super sketch. So obviously that's something I have to work on. Another point he pointed out is at the on-ramp, I tend to take it also very tight. I tend to head in a straight line, and when I head in a straight line, I'm arriving at the apex of the beginning of that turn, and then I tend to just continue trying to turn the car around. It's very similar to how I attack the sweeper. He told me to actually swing my car towards the left and then try to hit the apex so that my car is pointing straight as I exit that corner. I think the next time around, that's probably a good way for me to experiment on. One other thing I do want to improve on is my tendency to death grip the steering wheel. If you pay attention to some of my driving clips, you'll notice that on long straights, I tend to flex my hands like this. I know that I'm doing it, but it's like very subconscious for me. For the MRS, it's literally like a stock like couch seat. There's no bolstering, there's no anything that's holding me in, and after certain corners and turns, when I'm leading out into a straight, I actually have to kind of push myself back up in my seat and like make sure I'm sitting right before the next turn. Obviously, the goal for the car is not actually to turn it into a track car, so I'm not planning to actually put bucket seats in it, but I feel like the fact that the seat is stock and I'm not harnessed up, I'm not anything like that, I feel like that actually makes me death grip the steering wheel even more. I could wear gloves to try to ease the pain a little bit, like they'll provide some sort of cushion on the steering wheel. My hesitancy with actually wearing gloves is that I would feel less. I prefer to feel as much as the car is communicating to me in terms of steering wheel and how the steering wheel is vibrating, if it feels light or not. I also like to feel my shifts so that I'm sure what gear I'm going into or downshifting into. And I'm scared that if I wear gloves, it will take some of that feeling away and make it a little vague, and I will end up misshifting. So at this point, I don't really have a solution for my death gripping tendencies, but for sure that's something I need to work on.
So for me, I actually PB'd in the first session on the 5th lap. The weather was still relatively a little bit cool, around like the mid 70s. I was able to do like a 209. So finally broke into under 210.
Yeah.
Finally, yeah.
Before you were like 211 or so?
Yeah, 211. I could never really.
It's really good, 2 seconds quicker.
Get below 210.
And I feel like you're not the type to PB in your first session anyway. So I think similarly, like if the weather just wasn't as hot, Tommy probably could have shaved a second or two off.
Yeah. So this time around, I have a set of new tires, right? Like you said. I also installed a new set of front brake pads. This time around I have the Project Mu Club Racer. Previously I had the HP Plus. In a lot of the corners, like the sweeper, I was actually following behind like two different NCs, and I wasn't actually able to like get close to them, very close to them in the braking zone.
Because when you went to Buttonwillow last time, your 615K Plus...
It was also fresh.
It was pretty fresh, right? It wasn't
new,
like it was on its way
That's
out,
true too,
right?
Yeah.
So considering, like, if you're removing the variable of it being completely fresh tires, do you think that maybe because the RS4s are just better than the S80s that allowed you that confidence to go faster?
I think so too, yeah.
RS4s.
Yeah, the first session, like, I remember, like, this car, like, was able to grip really well, give me a lot of confidence. Same friend of ours rode in my car, and he mentioned that when I hit some of the berms over at Cotton Corners or like the corner before bus stop, it was like a left, kind of left turn, but really quick. We were traveling pretty quick, and he noticed my suspension is not really keeping up. Kind of like either it's hitting like the bump stop, or it could be the spring rate might not be high enough that my car kind of bounce, kind of like skipped and hops like a sidetrack out. Some of the corners, like for example, coming out of the Cotton Corner, if I hit some of the berm like way too deep, I guess, my car would like send me flying almost. And then like when I landed, it kind of hopped like twice at least. And then I would be like at the edge of the track. That's something I could address in the future, but for now I think I'll just adapt and not hit the berms like way too much. I think one of my probably like favorite corner now is probably the sweeper. Actually, in that corner is very interesting because as I come around and try to hit the apex, I actually give more gas, and my car actually like doesn't understeer, actually oversteer, and the rear would rotate, and I'm able to like hit that apex while gaining speed. So that's like really fun to me. Also, I want to show you guys a little bonus clip that in the last session during open track, I was following Tiffany actually. I was right behind Tiffany, and just right when she was gonna give me a point by, I did the thing that you don't want to do. Third, I was at about 6,300 RPM. I shipped in second. So I think that roughly put me into like about 8,000 RPM. Right after the mid-shift, the car still drive all right. I was still able to turn like 2-3 extra laps after that happened. And after I pulled into the pit, there weren't any really weird noises. I'm gonna monitor the situation at 8,000 RPM or so, like that would kind of like the max that the motor can still take without doing any sort of like valve chain damages. But I think this time around, maybe I kind of rushed it a little too fast and I'm turning. And when I'm turning, maybe the G, that naturally kind of put some of the force on my hand and kind of naturally push that gear knob towards second. You know, like if it doesn't feel right, just don't let off the clutch next time, I guess. But also be confident in your shift and be calm, I guess. That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah,
I guess I was just following like Tiffany. I was just so excited, and I always lose it right behind Tiffany.
You did it last time. It was fun too, and you also lost it. What the fuck?
Last time, like I was closing up on Tiffany, and next thing you know, the Phil Hill.
Dude, every time I'm about to point him by, you just fucking lose it. I'm like, where'd he go? Oh, maybe he wants to chase me or something.
Yeah, and then,
what the fuck?
Next thing you know, like either I feel like my lines off, like my rhythm is off.
It's not even like I'm the one behind him.
I get nervous.
It's like I'm in front of him and he's closing up on me. I should be the one that's nervous. Like, why are you flying off the track?
I don't know,
what the
man.
fuck?
I don't know.
Well, it's been really fun, and we are totally looking forward to another track day. I don't know about anytime soon because the weather is like pretty hot. But maybe sometime in fall I think would be nice. We hope you enjoyed these clips. We had a really fun time. If you saw any of us out there, feel free to drop a comment down below, say hi. Thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for more Spyder adventure. Bye.